Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about SWV and Xscape, the queens of R&B. All right, so this is a new show. I heard it's only like I think it's like between 6 and 8 episodes. So it's not really, it's not like a full season of like a Real Housewives show, but nonetheless, I still feel like, even with the shows. The amount of episodes that they say are going to air, I feel like it's going to be a very entertaining show. I'm late with the review, so let's go ahead and get into it. For those who don't know, Xscape is an R&B group. SWV is an R&B group, and Xscape consists of Candy. Some of you may be familiar with Candy from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but before Real Housewives of Atlanta, Candy is a member of the group Xscape, singer, songwriter, all that good stuff. And then we have Tamika and Tasha, who are sisters. And then we have Tiny. Tiny is married to T.I. No tea, no shade. I'm not gonna really harp on it too much. But what's going on with them lawsuits with Tiny and that husband of hers? I'm gonna let it go though, but I ain't forgot. They have 3 albums. I really didn't get into Xscape like that until Traces of My Lipstick. I don't care what anybody got to say. I knew Xscape songs, more so like the singles, but Traces of My Lipstick is one of the greatest albums of all time. I was literally still listening to the album the other day. Traces of My Lipstick is that album, not just R&B, one of the greatest albums. Girl, for real. If I had to pick my top 20 albums, it would definitely be in top 20. If I was stranded on an island and they said you can only take 20 albums with you, Traces of My Lipstick will be one of the albums that I took with me. Anyways, SWV. SWV has been together since 1991, I believe. They pretty much said they were an overnight success. 30 million albums sold worldwide, 5 albums. The group pretty much broke up when they went solo. I was not a big fan of SWV. Knew the singles, but I was more so when it came to albums. It was more so that one album from Xscape. But nonetheless, girl, we still know. I don't think there's anybody who maybe around a particular age that does not know who Xscape or SWV is. Release My Attention, I'm not gonna lie though. Girl, Rain, Can We, all that, girl, them the songs. Xscape pretty much fell out. For me, this is just for me. For me, it was pretty much the clash of the divas. I don't. Tasha was always the better singer. Some people will say Tamika too. But in my opinion, Tasha was always the best singer in the group. But the group broke up nonetheless when they were on their 3rd album. I guess Candy thought that pretty much they were being used as Tasha's background singers to kind of set her up to go solo. I think that's part of the real reason why Candy and Tasha really don't like each other, because I think it's a clash of egos. I think that Candy, was pretty much thinking that she was the Beyonce of the group. Tasha was thinking she was the Beyonce of the group. And I can get it though to a certain degree, because it's like, girl, if you find out that, girl, they're setting up one of your group members, and I believe it, if they're setting up one of your group members for a solo, and you're pretty much the background singers, I could see how that could cause some chaos and confusion within the group. But they end up coming back as far as pretty much being co-workers and trying to get into the money. I don't think that money is really an issue for Candy, and really even Tiny either. So I think for them it was more so for just doing something that they love. And then I remember Candy also saying once upon a time when they started coming out with these, these telling the stories of, the great R&B acts of yesterday, it kind of was like, girl, and then she hit us with in 2017, someone tried to steal our life story without our acknowledgement. I mean, without our knowledge. Yeah, from what the world, girl, I don't have to listen. All I do is report the news. That's all I do. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't got no dog in the fight. So Carlos King, if you still go, if you plan on doing what you did last year, but Love and Marriage Huntsville, when you had Fuck It, I Need It, and Dr. Heavenly come out and be like the commentators for the show, that little special you did, still keep me in mind, okay? Because I'm just reviewing the show, girl. For what they said, Carlos, girl, they say you was up to no good. So I don't know. I'm gonna watch my mouth because I'm trying to get to the money too. Candy already got the money. I'm trying to get there. But for what they said, girl, Carlos had his hand in the cookie jar and girl, it got caught trying to steal allegedly, Xscape story. It starts off basically Candy, Tamika, and Tiny are in the studio. You gotta get them legs and hips and body, yaddy. Yeah, I wanna get them legs and hips and body, yaddy. Yeah. So that's what Candy was in there listening to. She said she was thinking about remixing the song. They start to bring up old stuff in the confessional. I'm glad that Tamika was like, no, ma'am. Basically, long story short, Tamika lied on Candy and said that Candy pretty much was, girl, a marathon runner. Girl. They pretty much said that Candy was a sprinter. They pretty much said that Candy was fast. They pretty much said Candy was a horror. That's what Tamika said. Now, supposedly Tamika lied, but I'm glad that Tamika didn't take the bait because that's what gets these girls in trouble. Those confessionals. So Tamika said, no, girl. We already talked about that. We're not going backwards. So shout out to Tamika for having some sense because anybody else probably would have fell for the bait. Tamika and Tasha, again, they're sisters. They haven't spoken since, I guess, some concert they had in Las Vegas. By the end of the episode, it just sounded childish to me. I'm not going to lie. It sounded childish. What it sounded like to me was basically like, I guess Tamika is upset that she got left or locked out of her dressing room. Again, would I be upset if I was stranded outside of my dressing room for an hour? Yes. But to the point where it's like, girl, we ain't talked in 30 days. I mean, I guess. It just sounds like it really sounds like some sister mess, right? Like, girl, they probably mad about something else and they just use that as an excuse to cover up the real reason why they probably mad. I guess in response of Tamika being upset at Tasha in a text message thread, she told Tasha, I think Tasha told Tamika to kiss her ASS. And then Tamika responded to Tasha and said, if you had an ASS to kiss. And when Tamika responded to Tasha with that message, Tasha felt like she was body shaming. Now listen. I had to think about it. By the end of the episode, I was like, you know what? I can see why that's probably a sore spot for Tasha because Tasha was known as the big girl in the group. Tasha was known as a big girl who could sing, right? And I think pretty much everybody in the group has had some type of work done, right? Whether it's lipo, breast implants, breast lift. I think Tamika got her butt done. I think Tiny got her butt done. I don't know about Candy, but I know Candy. I think Candy has had like lipo before. I think she got a little breast lifted up. But I think that Tamika still probably at this age, like a lot of people do, still have body image issues. And I don't think that Tamika, Tasha, I don't think Tasha, I'm going to get them confused. I don't think Tasha has had any work done, at least to her bottom. So I could see how that could make Tasha feel a certain way. Because again, that's probably something that she has had to deal with for a very long time. Tamika says that it really wasn't a dig. Tamika, yeah, Tamika, that's a dig. Even though Tasha told you to kiss her butt, when you responded, if you had a butt to kiss, you was basically telling her, girl, you flat. Like, we're not gonna play this game, Tamika, girl. You know exactly what you was telling Tasha. And Tasha, the way she took it was the way that it was meant to be took, Coco. Coco is 52 years old. I did not know Coco was 52. I thought Coco was probably about 48. Coco looks great. They do, Coco is the lead. Now, Coco, we know Coco is the lead singer of SWV. Coco does, see? SWV, they do about 50 to 100 shows a year. Tasha, just a quick rundown of the girls. Pretty much, we know Candy, for those who are not familiar, but Candy is married to Todd. Girl, did y'all hear when Candy said that BS? This is what Candy said. I wrote it down. Candy was at the house with Todd and them kids. This is what she said. Todd is definitely the boss in our relationship. I do let him take the lead on most things. If you looked at Candy's face when she said, anybody who has watched Real Housewives of Atlanta knows that Todd Burris does not lead Candy. Candy said that because she feels as though she has to say that her man leads. I remember a scene from her with her and Kenya basically saying that they have to let their men think that they're the head of household. Don't y'all remember that scene? We've seen Candy cuss Todd out on TV and say, don't you think, what did she tell Todd? Don't you think that you're more successful than me? Yeah. This is what it comes down to. Candy is self-made, okay? Candy is a self-made woman. Candy is a self-made multimillionaire. And the truth of the matter is, Todd didn't make Candy a millionaire. Candy made Todd a millionaire. And it's hard for me to believe that Candy, as successful as she is, and as far as in her career as she was before Todd came along, all of a sudden it's just loosening the reins up. Especially the last time we heard them talk about business, she was getting into Todd's ass for buying all these properties and just letting them sit there. Now Todd did a good job with OLG, but girl, Todd ain't running Candy, and Candy know Todd ain't running Candy, and Todd know he ain't running Candy. Candy just, I hate the fact that she even said that, because it's like, Candy, that's kind of whack and weak of you, because girl, Candy, we know Candy is a boss bitch, and Todd ain't running shit over there, girl, at all. And that's just what it is. Now, Rocky probably running stuff over there at Tamika's house. Now, I could see that. But Todd ain't running nothing over there at the Burris household. Please don't get it twisted. But Tasha is married to her husband, Rocky, have one son. The son kind of fine. They've been together, I think she said 27 years. If you don't really keep up with hot, mess outside, the blogs and stuff, I don't think that the group members really get along with Tasha's husband. I feel like Tasha's husband might be a little bit shady. I don't know. But nonetheless, that's her husband of almost 30 years. Tiny is married to T.I., we know. Tamika and her husband have been together, I think she's at 21 years. They've been with, basically, I think the person who's probably been with their husband the least amount of time is Candy, and Candy still probably is pushing probably a decade. But everybody's pretty much been in their relationships, marriages. I'll say relationships, at least 20 plus years. Because I don't know how long they were together before they got married. Um, um, Candy and Tasha don't get along. Again, I just think it's clash of the egos. I think you have two people who think they're Beyonce, and quiet as it's kept, at least as of today, it's only one that really can like shake and move and make some stuff move and shake and bake, and that's really Candy. Now within the group, people might have a difference of opinion, but in real life, we know who got the power, and it ain't Tamika, and it ain't Tasha. Okay. Anyway, it's Candy Burris. They just don't get along. They don't get along. They barely. I mean, they spoke, but it was a very much, "Hey, how you doing? Good. How you doing? Good." It was very much, "Girl, I'm here. Girl, I'm here because girl, it's work." Um, everybody finally meets up. SWV as a whole, Xscape as a whole. They start throwing out ideas because they want to eventually go out on tour together. Because the verses that they did was a very successful verses, and because of the reaction that they received, they're thinking about trying to put a tour together with SWV and Xscape. Everybody's talking, throwing out ideas, and Tasha is quiet. Taj, girl, oh, I forgot Taj and Lily. They're also members of SWV. See, you saw how fast it was, how fast I forgot about them. Taj, I never felt we gave Taj her props. Is her name Taj? Taj, we never gave her props. Well, her fine ass husband. Oh, that nigga is fine. I don't think we ever gave Taj her props on how gorgeous she was. She's still a very attractive woman, but like her face, girl, her face was really top tier, low key. Um, so she asks Tasha, because they're sitting across, SWV is on this side of the table, and then there's another table, and Xscape is on that side. And so she asks Tasha, like, but she didn't say it loud. And then Tasha was like, huh? And she was like, what's wrong? You're kind of out of it. And she was just like, I'm not, what did she say? I'm not excited. But pretty much, I'm not excited. I'm not excited, and we have some internal issues that need to be worked out. Okay, I get what Tasha, I get what Tasha is saying. But I'm with SWV though. I am. Just like Coco said, girl, we don't communicate either, but we get on stage and get them coins. Do I think that? I mean, I don't know, child. Coco said they don't communicate. I think they might text each other, Merry Christmas. Do I think they're best friends? No. I mean, because Coco said we don't communicate, so I don't think they're best friends. I don't think they linking up to go have cocktails. It's kind of like, girl, that's my coworker. Merry Christmas. Oh, girl, I'm in town, maybe. I don't know, child. Coco said she don't communicate. They don't communicate, so all I can do is go by what she said. Um, I get Tamika being, I guess, feeling some type of way. Like, girl, we here basically having a conversation, meeting up, talking. When girl, we don't even get along, and girl, I'm pissed off at her. She pissed off at me, and me and you don't even like each other. But it's like but it's also on the flip side, like Coco said, and the other girl said, like, girl, if y'all don't get your ass on the stage, sing them songs, do a cute 1-2, get your check and then go on. Girl, I think SWV got paid over $500,000 because they flew to Africa, I think for one day, just to perform for some rich man. And Taj said they got paid over 6.5 figures. So I just assumed that it was over 500,000, girl. 550. That's what I said. I don't know. What's over 6.5 figures? Um, So I'm like, girl, they probably walked away once they paid everybody. They probably walked away with over $100,000 in their pockets. If I'm assuming that they got paid. That's how much she paid. How much the man paid them. And then of course once they probably paid their managers and whoever else they needed to pay, they probably pocketed like at least over 100,000 just for one day of work. Was that one day they did that little concert? Girl, that's a lot of money. Girls, that's a lot of money. Just for one day of work. Now, that ain't no Beyonce, 24 million Dubai. But girl, that's a cute little change for a 1990 group. You know what I'm saying? For one day of work? Girl, that's cute. Girl, I would do it. Girl. But I get it, but it's like, Tamika, girl. You get them confused. Tasha, girl. It's not, first of all, it's not even that deep. Girl, you and your sister upset because basically she told you, girl, if you had an ass to kiss, I get it. You probably have body image issues. A lot of us do, right? But it's like, girl, let me just get on this stage, sing these songs, make this money. Because if it was that deep, you wouldn't have been there. You see what I'm saying? Like if it was that deep, Tasha wouldn't have even popped up at the meeting. She would have like, no, I'm not going to no meeting until we talk about what we need to talk about. So that's how I know it's not that deep. I'm glad that Lily basically said, we have hiccups with our husbands and boyfriends and we forgive them just like this. But all of a sudden when it comes to us us women working together, it's like, girl, trying to move a mountain. Like, girl, let's go. Let's get this money. And I think Lily, at one point, after SWV broke up, like some of the girls of yesterday and some of the boys of yesterday, I think Lily was pretty much broke, poor. Like, I think she was on food stamps at one time. I think she said that. So Lily ain't trying to let this bag. Ain't her name Lily? I'm calling her Lily. Girl, Lily ain't trying to let this bag go no time soon. So I understand why Lily like, girl, you better try to get this money. Gloria, the sisters, Miss Gloria is the mama. I'm not gonna go in on Miss Glow. Hey! Miss Glow, I'm gonna say this much. We got to be truthful. We're gonna have to tell some truth. Gloria, you're messy. And Tamika is absolutely right. Tasha is your favorite. Tamika may be a little over the top, right? But it still doesn't take away from what Tamika was saying. Tamika gets up and basically starts to retell the story of the night in Las Vegas when she got locked out of her room. Again, like I said, I don't think it's that big of a deal. The mama says that she's jealous of Tasha. She mouthed it to Tasha. Girl, I bet you that mama has caused so much chaos and confusion between those sisters. I could see that mama putting them against each other. I really could. I really could. The mama is messy. I'm sorry. We're going to call it the mama is messy. The mama is messy. Then, girl, Tamika started getting worked up and pretty much said, y'all stole from me. Girl. She said that they were supposed to be receiving royalties. And somehow Rocky, basically, long story short, from what it sounded like to me, Rocky was stealing Tamika's money. The mama told them to cut the cameras. Girl, when I tell you, this is exactly what happened. The mama said, cut the cameras. Oh, get out of my house. Got the cameras. Get out of my house, girl. Girl, you could tell by Tasha's expression and the mama's expression that girl Tamika was telling the truth. At least in my opinion, she was. Girl, when I tell you, girl, it went black like this. Yeah. And all you could do, all you could really hear, you could still listen. You couldn't see nothing, but you could hear. So I said, this is the type of carrying on that I want to see. Girl, when that lady told that white man to cut that camera, girl, cut the camera. He cut the camera, but he didn't cut the audio. So he turned, girl. He turned the light off. He turned the light off. He turned the light off. He turned the light off, baby. But girl, that microphone was still on. And we heard a little piece. God say your spell. I said, now this is how you be messy. Girl, the other girls need to take note, okay? Anyways, y'all, I'm gone. The show it feels like it's going to be a good show. I feel like we're going to kiki something that needs to happen, especially with that horrible ass shit that we just saw down in Potomac, Maryland. So I feel like this is going to be a good kiki show. All right. Bye, y'all.